our next speaker has traveled all the way from the United States to talk with you today. Now, you might be familiar with this young woman because she came to prominence in 2017 when she made a very good rebuttal video that was watched by millions of people. Now, it was in response to a Teen Vogue article making light of abortion, basically. Now she has a very important role working for Students for Life of America, and she does a lot of speaking on their behalf. Now, she was, of course, very prominent in recent months after the overturning of Roe versus Wade by the Supreme Court in the United States. We're so grateful that Autumn has traveled all this way to be with us. Can you please give a loud Irish Céad Míle Fáilte to Autumn Lindsey.
Hello, everybody. I will say this is my first time in Ireland, and I can't think of a better reason to bring me here, right? So thank you so much for having me. Now, I'll be honest. Sometimes I get up to speak at events like this, and I'm still in a little bit of awe and shock that I'm even here, that I am so blessed to be invited here to speak and share about what is happening in the pro-life movement with you guys, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm nobody special. I don't have a radical testimony to share with you today. The only thing I have is to say, I am pro-life, and we have to fight this fight together. That is why we are here. We know that abortion is wrong. We know that abortion ends the life of an innocent human being. We know abortion hurts women. The question is, what role do we play in this movement? What role do you play in this movement? In my 5 years of being pro-life, I wanted to share two main things that I've learned over the years. And the first is that anyone can make a difference. Again, I'm amazed every day that this is what I get to do. I get to travel across the country and share the pro-life movement with people all over. I am amazed. But I hope you don't take my lack of testimony, my lack of story as a way to discredit me, but rather as a way to encourage you that if I can do this, so can you. I kind of fell in to a pro-life activist, and I'm still shocked today, but I do know one thing. If I can do it, you can do it. The pro-life movement is led by ordinary people who care enough to make it their priority, to say, I will stand up regardless of fear, regardless of backlash, regardless if I don't really feel like I know exactly why I'm here, I am going to show up. That is what we need from every pro-life person across the country. And so, if you have ever felt held back, like you just don't know if you have what it takes to make a difference, I am asking you today to let go of that fear. I want you to think of who you are fighting for today. When we show up to a march, when we show up to do pro-life activism, we have to think of who we are fighting for. A few years into my pro-life activism, I started to feel like I was hitting a wall. I was feeling frustrated, like I wasn't really seeing a change, that my efforts weren't really making a difference. I felt discouraged until I watched the movie Gosnell. And if you aren't familiar with that movie, it's a movie about Kermit Gosnell, who's an abortionist in Pennsylvania. He was running a back alley clinic performing abortions far past the legal date. He initially was convicted because of health concerns with his clinic and the fact that he was prescribing medication unlawfully. But as they dove into the case, they found the horror of what was going on behind the walls of his abortion clinics. That he was killing children alive, that he was cutting the back of their necks and throwing them in the trash like they were nothing. And for a while, as he was put through trial, they weren't making any ground. You know, they thought this is too political. They're just trying to make it about abortion. We're not here to make a case about abortion. And they were trying to brush the case under the rug. That was until the court showed a photo of one of his victims. It was a photo of baby boy A. And that photo is what changed the course of that case. That photo is what convicted Kermit Gosnell to prison for the rest of his life. And so, on my 18th birthday, the first thing I did is I went into a tattoo parlor and I got a tattoo for baby boy A, to remind myself every single day of why we do this, for the victims of abortion, for the little girls and little boys who were wrongfully killed, just as baby boy A was. I fight for baby boy A. I fight for the women who feel like abortion is their only option. I fight for the fathers who had no say in whether or not their child lived. That is who I am fighting for. Who are you fighting for? It does not matter who you are. Somebody needs you to fight for them. The second thing I have learned is that life will always triumph over death. Life will triumph over death. The United States just got rid of Roe v. Wade, which stood in place for 50 years. We just added Roe v. Wade to the ash heap of history. And you know what? Many people never thought it was going to happen. Year 1, year 2, year 30, year 40, year 45, people thought Roe v. Wade is settled law. We will never see the end of abortion in America. And yet, on June 24th, 2022, Roe v. Wade was reversed. After 50 years, people called us crazy for saying that we would be the first post-Roe generation, and yet I get to stand here today as a member of the post-Roe generation. We can never get up. We can never let go of the momentum in this fight because it is life or death, and we know that life will always win. So hold fast. You are on the right side of history. You are on the right side of this fight because you are advocating for life. And where there is life, there is always hope. And the only reason I got to celebrate the overturning of Roe v. Wade was not because of the work that I had done, but because of the work of the activists before me. The activists who held fast in year 10 of Roe v. Wade, in year 15, and year 30, the ones who refused to let go of the momentum. They are the reason I got to celebrate, and that is you today. The work you do, the momentum that you hold, you will be the reason Ireland once again celebrates as you become a pro-life country once again. Now, we know life will win, but we also know we must be vigilant and prepared to combat the pro-abortion narrative. The abortion industry always has the same strategy. When they want to make abortion normal and legalized, they know they can't just come out guns blazing. They have to do it incrementally. They have to do it piece by piece. It starts with, well, we need abortion for the medically necessary situations, which, by the way, we know is never the case. And then it turns into, well, we need abortion because we want it to be safe, legal, and rare. But then that becomes, well, we want it to be safe and legal. And even that becomes, we want abortion legal. That is always their strategy, and that is always their end goal. And so we must be vigilant that that is their strategy. Abortion advocates want you to play defense, so play offense. You are not in the minority. You do not need to play defense. They may have been able to pass a law, but they cannot change culture if you don't allow them to. You are a pro-life people, and you will be triumph over abortion. Now, here are some strategies that you can use to make sure you cultivate a pro-life community. Number 1, envision the win. We must fight with passion and confidence. Too often, those in our pro-life movement remind me of a football coach moments before his team takes the field, telling his players that even though he trained them for this day, that they won't be victorious. Can you imagine what would happen on the field during that game? Do you think they would win? No, because they started the game believing they were going to lose. The person who prepared them for the battle told them it wasn't going to happen. It is simple sports psychology. Always envision the win. Number 2, we must continue to control the narrative. They want you to be silent because they know you have truth on your side. We must continue to be outspoken. We must continue to be compassionate. We must continue to be vocal because we know we have truth on our side. Number 3, we must be relentless and refuse apathy. The moment we stop caring is the moment they win. We must continue this fight with passion and confidence and compassion. We must refuse apathy. We must always remember who we are fighting for and use that as motivation to keep going. And 4th, we must be heard. It is difficult to be pro-life, but we need to use our voices to make sure that people know why we are out here. We must challenge the narrative. If they try to define who we are, we must show them who we are. We love women and we love life. That is what being pro-life is all about. This fight is not just to protect preborn children. This fight is to protect women from abortion. Abortion betrays women, and women deserve better. I am asking you to take this feeling today, this feeling of unity, this feeling of excitement, this feeling of momentum, and bring it into your pro-life work every single day. Where there's life, there is hope, and we must continue to hold fast until we see abortion not only unnecessary, but unthinkable. I want to end us off with a chant we like to use in America quite often, especially outside of the Supreme Court, and I'd ask you to join me. I'll do it once, and I'm sure you'll catch on pretty quick. Are you ready? We are the pro-life generation, and we will abolish abortion. We are the pro-life generation, and we will abolish abortion. We are the pro-life generation, and we will abolish abortion. We are the pro-life generation, and we will abolish abortion. Thank you.